What's up, guys? We're doing some spring closet switchover and laundry. Just kidding. Today we're going to research how social media has affected communication and public opinion. Obviously, the first step in researching is going to be looking for an article. Scrolled on Galileo for a couple minutes and came to the article titled Modern Relationships and Social Media, Exploring the Digital Dynamics of Husband-Wife Interactions. Right off the bat, it was really interesting and I started highlighting some key points. But let's focus on this one that I feel like really sums it up. It reads, a salient consequence of this digital integration into daily life is the ubiquitous sharing of and portrayal of personal journeys, relational milestones, and even intimate tribulations. This phenomenon catalyzes novel paradigms of social comparison, where individuals juxtapose their relational experiences against those portrayed online. What this basically means is that the constant portrayals of idealized lives online can cause lots of social comparison, as well as an increase in a lack of sense of reality. Even though this article was a study of 388 Palestinian individuals, it still applies to those of us in the United States. I wanted to further my research though, so I knew the perfect thing to do. I hopped onto social media, of course, and messaged my friend, and I was able to set up an interview with him. So let's hop on over there and see what he had to tell us. This is Jake. He's a pretty cool guy. Not to mention that he has 127k followers. My first question for him was, how has social media influenced communication?
Whew! I feel like that is a loaded question because there's so much you can pull from that. I think it's affected it in the sense that it's opened up communication so much more. I mean, you can connect with just about anybody with the touch of a button, just available to all, which I think is awesome, but that can go either way. It's just massive. Communication is just so much different now.
Like Jake said, social media and its effects on communication is massive. It's incredible that now we can reach people all the way across the world. Now let's look at some of the downsides and some of the dangers of social media and how it can be misused and bias can be misinterpreted. In
the past, if you're only getting your news from TV or if you happen to pay attention to the newspaper, it felt kind of baseline, and now I feel like everybody has an opinion, whether that's well thought out or researched or not. More people have an opinion now about just about everything, both trivial and important, right or wrong, I'm a natural optimist, so I try to see the good in things, but it's almost irresponsible to not admit that it's harmful to society, because not only is misinformation out there in droves, whether it's just people's own prejudices and insecurity being channeled towards others in a negative way, obviously affects a lot of people. Or there's the problem of AI fooling people left and right. Fake post and make it look like somebody said something they didn't, and that's relying on the fact that a lot of times people just don't do their research, don't put in the legwork, which isn't good, and they just trust what they see and hear and they just run with it, and that can be very harmful to somebody's reputation, to just credibility, especially if it's someone who's trying to go somewhere in the realm of communications or journalism. I still use it, obviously, we all do, and I see the good, but if all of a sudden it all just went away, it would be rough at first, but I think it would probably be a good thing to kind of just start from square one again and just have to figure it out and how to be human again without relying on all these platforms. The extreme negativity is fairly obvious, but an extreme positivity can have a negative effect as well, because people are well past not knowing how to receive constructive criticism. I immediately think of American Idol, the multiple times that they show people in the auditions that their family's like, you're an amazing singer, you're so good, you're gonna be a star. Whether they actually believe that or whether they just don't know how to be lovingly honest with their friend or their family member, I think the extreme positivity can still have a positive effect, but I think it just fuels people's inability to see both sides or have a heightened false sense of their skill level. I think we all need to hear when things aren't great and where we could improve. You know, some professors, some people, some loved ones, some friends are better at it than others, but if you can find that balance of being honest with somebody lovingly and respectfully, but also letting them know like, hey, this isn't that great. I think there's a lot of benefit from that, and I think that's where we need to be in a lot of different areas, but especially in communication as far as what we see, extreme positive and extreme negative. You can find that balance in the middle, whatever that looks like. We need to.
Of how social media has impacted communication. Let's remember to act wisely when using it, to act ethically. Let's not misquote anyone knowingly, and maybe not judge others. Use judgment, but do not judge others. Social media is a unique tool that can be used for education. It can be used for presidential speeches. It can even be used for some random girl folding her laundry. Like I said, don't judge. Let's keep in mind that social media is not a replacement for communication. It can even be detrimental to our relationships. So let's be aware of the harms of social media, and let's use it to spread hope, encouragement, and the real and the raw. Spread